Welcome to another indie game review here for the Sanitarium.FM. I'm the predicted Cyborg and I will be reviewing another game for you today. The game in question is Wartile, which is a little strategy / card / tactical game developed by Playwood Projects and also published by Playwood Projects. So the same studio has done the development and the publishing. This game is currently in early access on Steam. It's been out since the middle of March, so there's been some developments, but as I say, early access means that maybe some things aren't quite finished. So keep that in mind while I'm reviewing this. The point of this game is basically to go along and complete a main objective, and there'll be little side objectives throughout the level as well. You play as a group of figures, a little Viking army in which you can upgrade, choose which figures you buy and take into levels, move them all along, and everything happens in real time. You've got keyboard controls and mouse controls which you can see on the first level when you get in. There will be two little statues, one for the keyboard controls and one for the mouse controls, which you can see if you hover over them. And there will also be, throughout this first level, various statues scattered around which kind of tell you how things work, how to select figures, how to move them, how certain actions will happen. When you start the game, you will start off actually in the middle of the very first level. There is no actual game menu or anything to select. There is an options menu, but it's kind of just up there in the corner. There's no actual starting screen, which is a little bit strange if you're kind of used to that and you're not really expecting it, and you kind of just get thrown straight into the game, which is fair enough. Once you've completed that first level, you will actually then go to a kind of game board in-game menu, which will have a little tutorial down in the left right hand side which you can scroll through to learn certain things and how each bit of this new game board menu works. You know how to buy things, you know how to upgrade things, you know how to place them into your little boat for the things you want to use. You've got a map in the middle which lets you decide which level you want to go in first. So yeah, the only thing I don't like about the tutorial is you can exit away, but then when you return to it next time, it pops back up again, which is a bit strange. Once I've dismissed the tutorial, I particularly don't want to see it again unless I actually sort of go into the options menu and bring it back up again to learn something, or unless there's an option to sort of unhide tutorial. I don't know why this is, but as I said, slightly early access game, so some of these things might change in the full version. The game boards themselves are a 3D mix of hex, which means that, you know, you've got your six-sided hexagonal places, you can move your pieces around, and the enemy pieces will move around as well. As I said, all of this is done kind of in real time. You can actually hit the space key to slow things down and let you have a little bit more time to make decisions, but I decided to play it without using that for the extra challenge. I did find it kind of hard, but eventually I did actually learn how to just quickly go nice and fast and make use of everything I can and make use of the pieces that I actually had. You can actually buy new pieces to add to your army, and each one of these will have their own different abilities. Each one comes with at least one ability card that they do come with, which you can play during battle, which don't cost any of the battle points you can earn by taking over certain points or by defeating enemies, so you can basically spam those as much as you want as long as you wait for the cooldown. Some of these pieces are more melee suited, which means you can just get them right up into battle, and some of them have a bit of a range. For example, the Spear Warrior kind of is a mix of range and melee, as in he can be right up and close to an enemy, but because he has light armor, it's better to have him standing a little way back because he actually has the reach with his spear. At first, the hexagonal board kind of confused me a little bit and to where I could place him to be able to get the full effect of him without putting him in danger, but eventually I did manage to figure it out and was actually able to use him in conjunction with either the one or two warriors that I had in different levels to best make use of his abilities without, as I said, putting him in danger. Now, throughout the levels you will find items you can pick up. These include things that you need to do to accomplish certain side tasks, or things to accomplish the main task even. Sometimes you will find gold, which you can bring out and then use to buy new pieces in the piece store, or you will also find little things that you can actually equip to your warriors, like helmets or shields. These will give different abilities like more defense points, or in the case of the Skull of Hell, which is an item you get by completing the second level of the game, you have a very minor chance to actually summon what can basically be described as a Norse zombie to fight for you for a little bit until it expires in a rather spectacular little explosion. Basically, all the pieces when they die, they kind of break into pieces, and their health bar is marked by the colour of the little circle under their feet. The smaller it is, the less health they have. I will say that one of the things I like about this game is the fact that enemy pieces do actually seem to have some kind of fairly good AI to them. They do move tactically. If you are basically flanking them, they will try and move back and get into better positions. And actually, this is refreshing, because it's so easy to just have really bad AI and know how to exploit it, but this game actually made me work for it. This game made me work on actually trying to figure out how to get past certain things. The third level had a whole bunch of watchtowers, or basically inner cave dwellings. I could choose which way I wanted to go. I tried to do both of them, and eventually I managed to get past all the towers basically by taking their tactics and rushing my warriors, my pieces up there, and just basically killing them as quickly as I could, because they're watchtowers and they were full of ranged people. This meant that they had quite a good range on me, but it did mean that they had light armor. So basically I exploited that, got up close with my warriors and killed them, destroyed them, and also capturing those watchtowers did actually give me more battle points, which meant I could use my heal abilities that much more, especially towards the end when I really needed them. The game does also come with bonuses to, example, flanking, or if you are on the higher ground than your opponent, which again is also good. It's good that there's actually advantages to where you place your pieces. For example, fighting my way up to that first watchtower was a pain in the neck, but the reinforcements that came from the nearby hold, once I had basically taken the watchtower, it was that much easier to defend it because then I had the higher ground. Another good thing about this game is those upgrades you give them, the helmets or the shields, or the things you find during your playthrough of each level, they actually make a difference. Usually with games like this, you can add these things to your warriors, and yeah, maybe they make a little bit of a difference, but usually it's not all that noticeable. This time it kind of was noticeable. I mean, obviously the most notable thing was the spawning of the undead Norse warriors sometimes to come and fight me, but it did seem that my soldiers were that much better to handle things. Either that or I just got better at the game, I don't know. As for things that I didn't really like about this game, there's two things. First of all, the art style. I mean, I kind of get that it is an indie game, it's a smaller game and everything, but the art style kind of looks a little bit pixelated to me, a little bit fuzzy. I mean, I'm not sure if that is another thing that's going to be improved when the game releases, but it did kind of bug me a little bit. It was sometimes unclear what was going on, what certain things were, and it took me a little while maybe to figure out certain things could be bashed down. Another thing that I think this game needs is, well, basically during the first look through of the menu on the game board, some of the controls are a little bit unclear. I mean, you have that tutorial that's down in the lower right hand side, but sometimes you've got to try and figure out what pressing certain things will mean. Will this exit me? Will this take me on an adventure? I don't know, I better press it and find out first. So a little bit more guidance or a little bit more text to explain what certain things are, like, you know, press this button and we shall begin the adventure, click this button to go here or whatever. That could be added. I mean, it'd be a small thing, but it would make a lot of difference, at least to me. Overall, I did really enjoy this game. As I said, still early access, so there's still a few things missing, but it is pretty much complete. This is a game that, if you enjoy strategy and tactics and a little bit of tabletop stuff, because that's obviously where it takes its inspiration from, you're probably going to enjoy this game. It's not really related to any particular property like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, but that shouldn't stop you from buying it. It is a good game. And so that does it for another indie game review here for the Sanitarium.FM. I'm the Addicted Cyborg and I have been reviewing Wartile. Remember, we're a gaming radio station. Find us on our website www.sanitarium.fm. Join us on our Discord to join the community and to just have some good chats. And of course, stay tuned to the YouTube channel for more news, reviews and more of the same. I'm the Addicted Cyborg and I will see you next time.